they also they don't work like that. No? In our case. Okay, so you guys come here. Just a few words about the what we are going to present you now. There will be the words there. Just a few words, like I say. The work that the students are going to present, it was part of an international workshop that we did here in Dubai in March. International workshop that we had also the opportunity to have some lectures with some of the most important studios that we can find, for example, with people from AGU, with people from OMA, with people of Foster, Zaha Hadid, all their partners, they came to our university, to our workshop to work with that. Here you can see the photo of the family, because it was not, as I told you, it was an international workshop. They came the students from Italy, from the University of Palermo, University of Cagliari, both in Italy, and also from universities of Spain, Sevilla, Zaragoza, Burgos, and Madrid. So we were 50 students all together. We divide in 9 groups. We mix everybody. So there will be no people from the same university of the same group. We try to mix everybody, so it was Italian with Spanish, with locals, but also people from one university in Spain to other people university in Spain, so they can start to work, together, and they can. I think that it was a great issue, especially because they make some close ties between them, not just professionally, but also in the personal way. No? This element, the workshop, as I told you, was divided in 9 groups. We divide, actually what we divide, it was in 3 different big areas, let's say. We have 3 areas in the old part of data, 3 areas in the new part of data, and 3 areas in Dubai Design District. Because the theme of the project was to fill voids, was to fill urban voids. So here in the old part of Dubai, is so dense that part of Dubai that there are not voids, but as you go far away from the center of Dubai, you start to see some voids that nowadays they are just used for parking. Because one of the biggest lack of Dubai is the public space. We don't have so much public space here, and the minimum amount of the minimum amount of urban space that you can use as public space nowadays is used for parkings. So what we try, especially, is in those cases to redesign those urban voids as public spaces. Okay, and then also we did something similar in the part of data. So what we have is this degradation, let's say, of density from the more dense to the medium dense to the lower density, and these guys, they designed some really great works. Okay, here we have again just another image to place you the plots of the different groups. 3 here in the old part of data, 3 on the new part of data, and another 3 in Dubai Design District. Okay, all of them always along the creek. And here we have the first group.
Hello everybody, my name is Rama Al-Qudmani. I'm here to present the first project of the workshop with my friend Huzaifa. So first of all, here is the plan of Al-Ghurair. Our area is actually the blue box, which is basically a parking area. So first thing that we wanted to do is to study the area, see people how they live there, what problems they are facing in their during life, during their work time, because actually Al-Ghurair is known as working areas more than residential or whatever. So we saw that people actually facing a lot of problems for the parking. Also, they don't have places to sit and relax and during their free time under the shadow. All of the areas were under the sun, so it's really burning. So we wanted to do a solution and mixing the things that we wanted to present for them. Public spaces, parking areas, much comfortable for them. So first what we did, actually some sketches, like how we redesigned the area again by setting specific small towers, which is our for the parking, but having a technology system, which is elevators towers that you can enter your car in the elevator, and the elevator itself will go by your car to the parking. So first of all, here are some steps of how we analyze the parkings. The first one were the original parking area. We tried to summarize the parking. Then we set it in one tower. Then we started to duplicate the towers and separate them in different units, which is also gives us the opportunity to park more cars than they had before. The second step, we wanted to make some water places with the trees to give more shadow in some specific areas where the sun can reach more. Here's the cross section. As we can see, how are the towers related to the rest of the context, with the trees and the rest of the context. Here's the picture of the model that we did actually, and here's the final result of our work. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, I'm Rama. Let's start. Okay. The title of our project was Wadi Walk, and that depends for some reasons that I'm going to explain it. First, the area. Our area was in New Dera, and actually it's car parking, and it's a huge area for car parking, and like it's a loose area to use. This is some pictures of the area that it consists of old buildings and the trees for nature, and it has a tower, a long tower that attracts people and from far away. Actually, when we were there, we asked the people what are the main problems that they faced in that area, in Tira. They told us that this area is full of men. No women, no children, no families at all. So we tried to solve that problem by creating a space that attracts families to go there. So and also the nationalities there was mostly Indian people. So we tried to combine between two countries, India and UAE. From UAE, we took the reference from mountains, Wadi, and this is the reason for the name of our title. And from India, that we know, as we know, that Indian culture is a colorful culture. So we tried to use a colorful fabric that gives some beauty to the space. So we tried to make like a funny area that it's not like a building, a place that you can go there and have some fun there, not like a garden, but like it had like its structure. And this is our sketches, like to have a strips, several number of strips, by pile up them horizontally, and to create a space inside them. And the areas between the porticos, we used to cover it with fabric to create a shadow more. To make this idea more funny, we thought about having one of these portico movable that allows children to open and close it. That if we want that space, that flat area, we can close the portico, and if we want to create like an event there, we can open that portico and use the inside space. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Nagin. I'll be presenting the project of our group. So firstly, recovering the void. So our project, first we started analyzing the area. Our plot that we were given was basically between old era and new era. So in old era, there were buildings of 3 to 4 floors, and in new era, there were buildings between 7 to 9 floors. So we had to make something in between. So firstly, started analyzing the area. As we know that there are, each city or place has some specific things. So we identified that density, identity, and diversity is what defines every place. So talking about Dera specifically, it is a no-void city because there is literally no space. It's mostly filled with buildings and car parkings. So talking about identity, it is a nowhere city because there are people coming from different places like India, Pakistan, Egyptian, Chinese, Filipino. So it's just a mixture of everything. Talking about diversity, as I said, there are people coming from different places. So there's a lot of diversity, different cultures, different backgrounds. So it's a mixture of everything. After evaluating this, we gave a proposal, and the name of the proposal was DID, which is again density, identity, and diversity. So we evaluated the problems and the opportunities we had to create a proposal. We noticed that there was a lot of noise. There was no greenery, no space for people to come and interact, and a lot of parking areas. So firstly, we took 3 different references, which we helped to combine, and then we created our project, some by Oma and Stephen Hall. So here we started with a few blocks. As you can see, that's our plot, the U-shaped area. So on the left side were buildings, which was old era, which was 2 to 3 floors buildings, and on the right side was New Dera, which was 7 to 9 floors. So we started with level 1 and then went up to level 7, increasing the height of the communal area that we created. So here we used, tried to mix up the culture from what we evaluated. We used different fabrics, we used different texture of the building, and then we created communal spaces for women and playing area for children. Here you can see that there are indoor and outdoor spaces for people to enjoy and for kids to have fun. Yeah, this is our project. Thank you.
So, just before I start talking about the project, I just want to talk a little bit about the area where we built the project. For Dera, there was an expansion by John Harry during the 60s that is this extended area, and our plot is the rectangular one, and it's the biggest one. It's 300 meters. So, as we noticed that after the sudden discovering of oil in the area, the engineers and the architects start to search for lands that have lower costs. So mainly the main disadvantage of this area is that like some areas are very dense and others like just large empty spaces, and this is the area that we are working on. It's mainly for parkings. In our project we didn't neglect the existence of this huge number of cars, so we start to study different aspects, like how people are not allowing to go inside the plot just for take their cars and go outside because no activities are there. Here the need of shadow and light in our project from the behavior, how people behave around the plot was really necessary to know the specific needs of the population there. We start to to observe the nature of the country, starting from oases, the existence of nature, palms, and water. Here, mainly, like this is the concept or the general view of our idea that we have this shading system with these large holes in order to create a contrast between shadow and light. The presence of nature, and these are the high-rise levels for the parking. This isometric shows the ground level for different activities, kid zones, the presence of nature, the supporting elements of the ceiling, which is the second layer. Here we have permanent and contemporary pavilions. This is the plan, this is the existence of water, different spaces and pavilions. Then here you can go to the parking. And let's talk with Ashad about some views.
We have a permanent... we have the parking is actually a permanent structure, and the pavilions are contemporary. We had also multiple spaces and different activities inside the area. We also used 5 traditional materials. One of them was lattices. This is in Al-Hamra, traditional Islam. These are the pavilions. You can see the 5 materials: ropes, palm trees. Here we can see the openings in the roof that provides lights, and the columns, and some nature and the activity. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Ra, and this is my colleague Fatma. Our project was basically on building a city over city. So basically our area was in Naif, an old Dera city. Okay, and basically in that area most of them had 3 to 4 floors and most of the empty spaces were used for parkings, and in that area was bachelors used to stay over there. And it lacked a lot of social services such as schools and parks and greenery. So over here we did a survey and we came to a conclusion where are the empty lots and important landmarks in that area. And we marked also the high and the medium buildings. The maximum number of floors in that area was 4 to 6 floors. So we came to a conclusion to develop that space, since they lacked greenery and social services. And mostly in that area, the roads were at the corners, and mostly even the parkings were at the corners, to help people import their goods over there and then transfer them by bicycles. So basically also the pedestrian streets over there were congested. So our idea was building a city over city, and we built bridges over the buildings, and we also marked the most important landmarks over there, the most important souks and the hidden souks, and we built also pedestrian and playing fields over there, and greenery and cricket fields to encourage the laborers and unmarried people to come and socialize over there. And in that space also it was greenery, and it was away from the pollution, and this encouraged them to go up and have more eco-friendly environment, and it was also run by renewable energy. The next part is
So I think that till now we get the idea of the project. So it might seem a little bit crazy, so we wanted to show some references that there are a little bit similar to our idea. One of these references is the High Line project in New York, which is a rail line that was transformed into a greenway above the city of New York. And the other project is in Rotterdam. It's a bridge that connected points in the city. So if this idea could be built in somewhere in any other city, so for sure it can be built here in Dubai. So the elements that carry the path or the bridge that we had designed, each section of this element has the shape of the letters of the Arabic alphabet, and as these letters have different shapes, it allows us to, each element has an ability to have multiple and different kind of activities. Going through the path, we can notice that we have a variety of activities that can be done there, and we chose and we put these activities based on the needs of people that lives there. Because when we were there, we were asking the people like what kind of activities they are missing, or what they like to do and what they want. So, and we applied all this in our path or bridge. So there's places for services, walking, studying, leisure time, playing, and all this stuff. And for the people to go from the earthly level to the earthly level, we put these communication cars. These communication cars have the staircases or the elevator that goes up to take people from the ground floor to this the city, the air city that we built. And one thing that we didn't like about the area there and all there, the car parkings, the traffic, and all this noise and stuff. So we kept the parking on the ground level, so people can just park their car there and go up to the air city. And that's because we wanted to get rid of all these issues and just give the people a better experience of a quiet space and free space of cars just for walking in leisure time and all this. This section of the project shows how the different elements can have different kind of activities. Like there's some people just resting there, here's people are studying or maybe selling items, or maybe also we can have a swimming pool there. So our project aim is to give people an experience to have a different perspective of the city of Dubai, like we move their view from the earthly level to the air level. Eventually, our project is a complement of the city. It's not a substitution. It's a city over a city, as the project name is. And the great thing about our project is that it doesn't have any borders. Like it doesn't stop on a certain point and keep growing, like the tree roots. And like we started with one block, and then it might be the whole area, and then it might be the whole city after this. That's it. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Aisha. Now this project is again in Design District Dubai. The title is Filling the Voids and to create a new public space flowing between the buildings. These are the buildings that. Now these are the buildings in Design District Dubai called Design Quarter, and now we selected the 4 of them that you see in a different color, green or turquoise. Now we selected that 4 buildings because after our research, we came to know that most of the activities and gatherings happen in that particular space. So we selected to do our project mainly in that space by filling that void. Now we compared it with the density of people and gatherings in Lisbon, in Portugal. Now this shows the sites of the 4 buildings. Now each of the 4 buildings have different sites and views, so it actually highly depended on our project and also gave an impact. Now this shows the picture of the skyline. Now most of our project were based on some architecture that was there in Dubai. So here we try to select the lattice, which is very common here and which is a part of Arabic culture as well, or Islamic culture. And also it's there in almost all the Muslim mosques. Now in our project, we try to take just one side of it and try to apply it and then also compare them with the seeds and the spices. And since it's a high-scale project, we try to use different geometries as you see it done. Now this is the plan of the entire project. You can see the caterpillar-like snake which goes inside and outside. It's not just filling the voids that are inside but also outside. And each of them, 3 of them have 4 zones which have its own functions, with the center having a minaret. As you can see, some parts are extended for the shadows. Here you can see a small lantern. Now there are 2 principal elements. Now each of these minarets, which suppose the 4 zones, are started from different levels. Now one to the pedestrian actually starts on the ground level and one to the skyline is on the highest levels. Now the 2 principal elements, a core snake pillar, snake caterpillar over the streets and courtyards, making shadows on the streets and connecting the different buildings in all their levels. 4 zones like extensions of the caterpillar and placed on different levels with launches to relax workers in short periods of time. Now here are the 3 elevations which shows the height and the way it was did on the project, going in and out here, showing the 4 views how it comes out. Here shows one of the close-up of the 4 zones. Now the seats inside have different functions, each of them having different functions. One might be a meeting room, one might be a sitting room. So each of them depended on different functions, and this was accessible for the people inside the buildings. Here shows the minaret that was in the middle. The proposed used 4 stays, which are meeting room, little exhibitions, eating and drinking, chilling out, social networks, and much less. Here you can see some pictures of the functions as well as the purpose structure you see at the end. Here is the render that shows the shadows to the people who are walking outside as well. So it's a structure, hanging structure that have a function inside as well as create or give something good to the people who are walking down as well. Next, now this is a place in Dera which have a canopy-like structure that is made up of fabric. Now this gives shadows to the people. Now we try to convey it with the project that we did. This is how we did our project. That's all. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. The project is Transient Hexagon. Basically, the first slide is telling us where the plot is, which is in Design District, where usually a white tent is held there in the Dubai Design Days. We actually didn't find any reference in the context there since it's all surrounded by sand and sun, so we chose to look for external references, but also related with the Arabic culture and Islamic architecture. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the geometry, which we can see here the hexagons forming, even in that one. The other thing is that also here the shape of the homunculus flower, which is also in the Burj Khalifa, which Ruben also mentioned before. The other thing is that in old days, Bedouins usually lived in tents, which emphasize about movement and portable, not staying in one place. They used to look for water and food. The other thing is that we also wanted to create something similar to this, which is more contemporary, sorry. And here we're looking at the effects of the filtration of light, which we also wanted to include in our project, like in the old souk in Dubai. And the usage of water, like in Alhambra in Spain. And which here we can see the minaret, which is an object used for calling people. So we also tried to introduce this in our project. Now later we'll see how. And we can see how the carpets here are used between the tents and inside even for them to live on them, not on the sand, which is emphasizing also occupying the area with their tents and carpets. So basically we started with one shape, which is the hexagon shape. We combined them to form a modular unit, and then we started to play with the modular units in order to form such an exhibition space. As we can see here, as I mentioned before, that we are using like the type of carpets like old Bedouins used to do by occupying the area in it. So here we can notice these are some types of paints on the roads to show that we are occupying the area and continuing the fluidity to inside the exhibition area. In here we are showing how different colors showing us different usage. For example, like the silver color is showing us the usage of textile in our building, and in here also. And as we can see here, that we have in one of these, in here we are having the facilities, which are used for movement and other types of facilities. In this cross section, we can see how the usage of space could be different, providing vegetation, water, and a natural environment.